Well, hey everyone, and thank you so much for joining. I am so excited because we have another author interview for you. It's going to be super fun today. We are hanging out with author Candace Robinson, and I have to say, I'm a little bit partial to the name. I'm very excited for this. Candace is the author of Quincy Wolf's Glass Ball. Candace, how are you today?
Doing good. Good.
I am so excited to see you. I know you and I actually hang out a little bit on social media. This is the first time we've actually had an opportunity to chat with each other. I'm having just a little bit of trouble with your audio. Guys, if you are here joining us live, let us know if you can hear all of us. And I am super excited because we're going to be talking all about your book today. But if you are joining us live, we want to hear from you. Jump into the comments and let us know if you have questions for Candace. And if you are on our replay, we want to hear from you too. We will be monitoring the comments. And if you have a question that's so amazing, but we didn't get answered on air, we might just be able to get Candace back. So hit us up in the comments and let us know what you want to know from author Candace Robinson. So Candace, can you tell us a little bit about your book?
Yeah, it's pretty much urban fantasy with horror elements. You have some romance in between, and pretty much there's a mysterious museum that pops in and out depending who it wants to see it. And I guess the main girl, Perry Madeline, she has her cousin, her best friend, disappears, and pretty much she takes her best friend, uh, romantic interest, and they head into the museum, and they pretty much get, I guess, sucked into different parallels, like displays, and you'll have to kind of read it to see it, but I don't know. There's like more like Jack the Ripper, Sleepy Hollow, Snow White, but like more like a horror-ish type of vibe, and that's pretty much the basics. I don't want
That's
to give too much away.
so tell me, what was it that kind of made you want to take this more of a horror vibe to the story that you created?
And versus like a fantasy type vibe. I don't know. Like I guess I grew up pretty much on horror movies, so it's pretty much retellings, and I'm a big fan of retellings in general. But I don't know. I just want, I guess, horror elements, like some dark elements. But also, I'm a big fan of like quirky. So I want it quirky with the romantic elements, but also the dark elements, just to give something different, I guess, or try, hopefully.
That's fantastic. Now, how long have you been writing?
Um, like novels, I'd say since 2016. So not too long. Before that, it was mainly like poetry sometimes, and then I had a kid, so then I kept pushing. Got married, job, kid, and then kept pushing things aside until I was like, finally, let's do this.
That's so awesome. Now, at this point, how many books do you have out?
I have four right now. And two of them are contemporary, and the other two are Quincy and the sequel, which are, I guess, urban fantasy.
Awesome. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are here with us live, we want to hear from you. I know some of you are just jumping on. So if you have questions for author Candace Robinson, we want to hear from you. Jump into those comments below and let us know what questions you have. They can be about her books, about how she writes, or kind of about anything that goes with today's interviews. We want to hear from you. Let us know what you want to hear from us. And if you're on the rebroadcast, we still want to hear from you. We will be monitoring the comments and we will be jumping in to get those answered for you. And if you get something amazing, we might just be able to get Candace back. I am incredibly excited about this. And Candace, I want to talk just a little bit about your main character.
Okay.
So actually, we have a comment that I do want to look at. We're going to jump back to my question. Kristen is here and she says that you have awesome purple lipstick and that you rock. And that was something you and I had actually chatted about your makeup earlier because you like fun colors. And I feel like that really goes with the covers of your book. So tell us just a little bit about why you are drawn to that brighter makeup style.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. Well, first, I'm a big fan of, I guess, the '80s genre as well, and they had bright colors back then, and I don't know. Even in high school, I guess I'd started wearing the brighter eyeshadow just to kind of stand out a little bit, but not over the top. But that's mainly why it's stuck.
Have you ever considered writing a book based in the 80s? Is that something that you kind of want to influence future writing?
So yeah, that's one of my manuscripts I have
Yeah.
that I'm trying to get published. Hopefully one day. But yeah, I definitely did that. So
That's fantastic. Oh, I love it. All right, so let's move back. Let's talk about your characters inside of your story. I know you touched on that just a little bit, but give us a little bit of a closer look at Perry and who she is and how she fits into this story.
okay, well I guess I mean she's pretty much a normal girl. She's a little sarcastic, so but that I mean that's basically her, I guess. She I don't know she's big with her cousin. I don't know. Her cousin seems to have a more vibrant personality, actually, Maisie, and she. I don't know. That's
Sarcasm. That's way to describe. So that actually makes me want to know: are you naturally a very sarcastic person? Does that come easily to you, or is that one of those things where you have to think about it and it sounds better in the book than in real life when you?
No, in real life, I can barely talk to people. So, but like if I'm talking to you, you know, like through the computer, like you know, Messenger, like I can sit there and chit chat all day. And like whenever I'm writing a book, like I can. Most of my books are character driven, and there's a lot of quirkiness, and I don't know. It's somewhere in my brain, but it just doesn't come out like in person, but in words, I can do.
Yeah. I feel like as an author, I sound a lot smarter on the page than I do in real life because it takes me time to think of those snappy comebacks. And I feel like that's just one of those things with authors. You feel like that's kind of something that we all mostly share in common. We're a little bit quicker witted on the page.
Oh yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But I love writing sarcasm into books. I love reading books with sarcasm. So the fact that she's kind of this quirky, sarcastic girl, that's something that I absolutely love. Now, I gotta know, your book is all about a museum that kind of shows up and maybe doesn't show up. How did you come up with this idea of using a museum that is and isn't there?
Well, I've actually, you know, because it's basically a retelling, so I combined like a lot of stuff from before that I've seen, like House of Wax, Waxwork, Frankenstein, even Scream. I mean, there's just elements of all these old horror movies to kind of bring that to life, and then even you know the displays, of course, are retellings as well. So that's pretty much.
I was reading, I have not read your book yet, but I was reading your descriptions and I was reading that it has the different displays inside of this museum. Can you tell us just a little bit more about kind of what we would see if we were to walk into this museum, assuming we got the chance?
Okay, so beforehand, if you walked in, you would take it's like 3 halls down. There's only one door, and it's at the front of the building. Once you get to the main room, it's pretty much a circle, and around the whole circle, from left to right, is displays, and they're made of glass, and but they're colored, and they're all various, kind of more like horror. Like example, well, there's one of Peter Pan, and Wendy's laying on the bed, and Peter is hovering over her, but he has a knife behind his back, but he's reaching out for her with his other hand. So you know, they're like different displays than I guess you would expect the scene to look like.
That's amazing. And I always love those, you know, darker twists on retellings. I'm a big fan of that, and I kind of would like to see that play out a little bit. I feel like maybe that's a fun spin-off is all I'm saying. Amber's in the comments, and she is saying it is so much easier to come up with a good comeback when you have days to think about it. Yes, and amen to that.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we're all in the same boat there. But yay for actually having a little bit of time to think while you're writing. So let's talk about your writing, Candace. How do you typically go about writing your stories? Are you someone who likes to plot things out? Do you kind of figure it out as you go? Do you have everything figured out before you start? Or is it kind of one of those twisted, let's just see things?
So, yeah, I pretty much, I don't outline. I'll write down the scenes pretty much. I know usually the beginning and the end for sure. But if I outline, I've wasted a lot of time because once I start, I don't know, half the time it goes in a totally different direction than I even planned, but it always still leads to where I wanted it in the end. So that's pretty much how that goes.
That's fantastic. Now, are you one of those people that kind of has set times during the day where you're writing, or is it when you kind of make your schedule work with your writing?
Yeah, summer is harder for me. My daughter's actually back in school, so pretty much when I drop her off, I get home, I'll do a quick exercise, and then I start writing, and I'll squeeze in some reading, but I pretty much try to write until she gets out of school.
Fantastic. I love that. Yeah, there's so much that you have to do to kind of work things into your writing. And I feel like having that dedicated time that you do have is really very helpful within this kind of world of writing because it makes it so much easier to get out there and actually get things done. Hey guys, if you are live with us, we want to hear from you. What questions do you have for Candace about her stories or about writing in general? We want to hear from you. Jump into those comments. Let us know what your questions are. And let us know, have you read Candace's books yet? And if not, why are you so excited to pick them up? We want to hear from you. Let us know in those comments down below. So, Candace, we were talking about your writing. We were talking about kind of how you work that into your life. I want to switch gears just a little bit. We want to talk about what you would offer to new writers as your best piece of advice to get into this industry.
Oh man, that's a tough question. um,
Here.
because I'm still trying to get there, but I'd say first, finish your draft, keep going, write it, get it done, and then to get in, I don't know. It depends. Like if you want to go the self-publishing route, just plan to try to do a lot of marketing, promote yourself. But if you're trying to get published with the big guys, the query. I know you're gonna get rejection, 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 rejection. You just gotta keep hanging on until you get there, pretty much.
Yeah. And listen, guys, I'm going to do a little bit of self-promotion here because that was the perfect lead-in. If you are indie publishing, I've got resources for you over on Reading Transforms, readingtransforms.com. If you are traditionally publishing, I've got resources for you on readingtransforms.com too. And if you're looking for an agent, the agent episode of Young Adult Edition is this Monday at 10 a.m. right here on facebook.com/k.m.robinson books. We've got an amazing agent who is working with all of the big companies, and she's here to answer your questions on Monday. So come hang out, ask your questions. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see you. Amber's down in the comments, and she has a question. She wants to know, what is your favorite setting in Quincy?
Oh man, I have to go with the Jack the Ripper. Only because I remember back in high school, we had to do research paper, and I chose Jack the Ripper, and I don't know, it's such an interesting thing just because it was never solved, and I know probably today if it were to happen, it would have been solved pretty quickly, but back then it's such a mystery, like who was he, what was he, why.
Yes, and they didn't have DNA testing, so
Yeah.
can't get the fingerprints. Jessica's in the comments, and she is saying, hello, Jess. We love having you here. Thanks so much for joining us. If you've got questions, hit us up in those comments. We're talking all about Candace Robinson and her book, Quincy Wolf's Glass Vault, which is kind of an urban fantasy horror retelling twist. How cool is that, right? Let us know if you've got questions, if you've got comments, hit us up below. All right, so Candace, I want to switch gears just a little bit. We were talking about your books, and I know that you have a duology. This is a duology, so it's 2 parts. Are both of those out now?
Yes.
Okay, so they're both out. You can find the entire story out and available right now. If you were going to remove one character from your story, who would it be, and how would it change the outcome of the story?
Oh man, that's a tough question. From the first book, then?
Yes.
Okay. It can be a minor character, I guess.
Yeah.
Or no? Okay, well then it would have to be. Yeah, I totally blanked on the name Katrina in the Sleepy Hollow.
Okay.
Just because I feel like they could go through that scene without her really, but she's pretty. You know, you learn her backstory in the second book, so. But I'm gonna take her because I just love the other ones too much to take them away.
That's awesome. Hey, fun fact, Sleepy Hollow was actually written in the town next to me.
Yeah, I'm pretty jealous about that.
We have a big cliff in our town. It's Irving Cliff, and it was named after him, and we've got all sorts of connections to this fun story there, so we should chat sometime, because that would be kind of fun. Jess is in the comments, and she is saying that she cannot wait to get her hands on your novel. It's on her must-buy list. Yes, we love that. We love hearing that. And you'll have to let us know, Jessica, how much you love it after you get the chance to read it. Super excited for this. All right. So let's talk just a little bit about, I definitely lost my train of thought right there. I got on the Sleepy Hollow thing and I'm like, oh, where was I going to go with that? Yeah, I don't know. Hey, if you were dropped into your book, do you think you'd survive?
I'm going to say I'd probably die. I probably would.
That's so funny. If you were to team up with Perry, do you think maybe that would improve your chances a little bit?
Yeah, I think teamwork would definitely help, because otherwise I would probably just sit there crying in a ball.
That's so funny. Now, I know we actually did a blog interview, which, guys, shout out. If you want more of Candace, make sure you check out the blog interview. It's actually up in the comments or down in the comments, wherever it happens to be for you. The link is there and available, so you can actually check it out. Totally unique questions, different from today's interview. But I know that we mentioned a little bit about your villain inside of this blog interview. And I found that rather intriguing because it sounds like your villain's kind of awesome. Guys, question 10. Candace, tell me a little bit about your villain in the story.
Okay. Well, you learn about him in the prologue. He's pretty much a demon from the underworld, and he's the one that built the glass vault to pretty much, you know, get the souls in there he needs to wreak havoc on the world. But I know for those of you who already know, but you know, I don't want to give too much away on who he is. But.
Yes, but check out question number 10 in that interview. I think it's going to give you a little bit of a hint and probably make you pick up the book just a little bit faster. Speaking of which, Alyssa's in the comments and she says she needs to grab a copy of this book. So it sounds like you have a lot of interest here today. Cool. Everybody's very excited. All right, we are just about out of time. We've got just a few minutes left. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are here joining us live, now is the time to pop your last minute questions down in those comments below. We want to get everything answered for you today that we can. And if you're on our rebroadcast, we want to hear from you too. Hit up the comments. Let us know your questions. We will get as many answered as we can in the comments. But if you got a good one, we might just be able to get Candace back for another interview. So let us know. What do we need to be answering while we are here on air or later after we're off air? Let us know. So Candace, I want to talk just a little bit about you as an author. So I know you've got a couple of different books out. I know you've got some stuff that you're working on, and I know you've got some really cool things going on your social media. So tell us, what do we need to know about the books that are out? What's the one thing that we need to know before we jump on to like your Amazon page?
All right. Well, pretty much the ones I have out, I mean, they're all YA. They all have, I know some have like the dark elements, but they all have the quirky vibe, some romance. So they all have all that.
Fantastic. And we do have a couple of last minute questions. Yay, guys, for pulling out the last minute questions. Alyssa wants to know, did any character get written out last minute or in at the last minute?
Okay, so no characters got written out, but yeah, one did come in, and it's during the Billy Goat's gruff scene. He came in.
I definitely did not realize that it had so many retellings in it when I was reading your blurb over on Amazon, and I'm kind of fascinated by this. Like, how many fairy tales did you fit into this story?
Well, for the main ones, there's I guess five main ones. But I mean, some of them, because even like nursery rhyme wise, like Billy Goat's Gruff was always my favorite, and I don't know, I never really seen that really used that much. Maybe it is, maybe I just haven't read it, but I wanted to throw in some nursery rhymes too.
Well, we all know that I'm a big fan of fairy tales and nursery rhymes and retellings, so I love that. I think that's awesome. And Alyssa says, oh, wow, that's interesting. I'm intrigued. And Jessica's in the comments. She says, this story has a horror thriller aspect to it. Do you watch or get inspired from scary movies?
Oh, yeah. I don't really watch a lot of the newer ones because I feel like, I don't know, they're not as good now, but a lot of the 90s, the 80s, especially the 80s, like, I don't know, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, I mean, the big ones, and then the older ones, Frankenstein, Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon, I mean, pretty much anything from, I'd say, 2006 and back.
Fantastic. And our last question for today is from Jessica. Do you have a favorite retelling outside of your novel?
Ooh, I like a novel that's been written?
Sure.
Okay. I'd say Cinder, by Marissa Meyer. But I'm really, really looking forward to A.G. Howard's Stain coming out because it's supposed to be the Princess and the Pea retelling. I've never seen like a darker fantasy version on that, so I'm really excited for that one. And I think it comes out January. So
it does. It does. Guys, stick around. That's all I'm going to say. Moving on with life. Hey, listen, Candace, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today. I do appreciate you being here. Can you let everybody know where they can find you?
Oh, yeah. You can find me on Facebook, Literary Dust. Twitter's Literary Dust. Pretty much Instagram's Literary Dust. So those are the big places that you can find me.
Fantastic. And what's your website?
Well, my author website is just author.candacerobinson.wordpress.com, but I also have a blog that I do book reviews on, and that's literarydust.wordpress.com.
Perfect. Any last thoughts for our audience before we wrap today up? And guys, stick around because I got something to tell you. Any last minute thoughts for you, Candace?
Oh no, just thanks for tuning in, guys, and I hope if you read the book, hopefully you like it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Candace. I do appreciate it. We would love to have you back. And ladies and gentlemen, I am so incredibly excited because we've got a lot of really cool things going on here on the Facebook page. Guys, sorry, I was going with my photography there. No, I am super excited to see each and every one of you here. Thanks so much for joining us. If you have an author you would like to see on the show, I want to hear from you. Jump into the comments and tag them. Let these authors know that you want to see them here on an author interview or on Young Adult Edition or on any of my other shows here on Facebook.com/k.m.robinson books. I want to hear from you. Who do you want to see? You got to let me know so we can make those connections and make it happen. And if you're an author who wants to come on, I would love to hear from you. Send me a DM and we'll see if we can get you on the show. It's going to be awesome. And of course, you can come hang out with me at k.m.robinsonbooks.com. Our website just got a brand new makeover. World portals are currently closed because we're doing some major revamping, but the majority of the website is back up and running with a brand new look. Make sure you check that out and hit me up at k.m.robinsonbooks on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. We are on YouTube, we're on IGTV, and we want to see you. So come socialize with us over there. It's going to be lots and lots of fun. And of course, if you had fun today, I want you to hit that share button. Let Facebook know that you had a great time, and they should be sharing this with other people as well, because that means I get more people coming to hang out with me, which means I can do more author interviews and more fun behind the scenes and more episodes of Young Adult Edition, which is going to be really awesome. Speaking of which, we gave you a little shout out this Monday, 10 a.m. We have our agent episode. We've got an amazing literary agent coming to join us and answer all of your questions. She just got a couple of fabulous people, some really big book deals. So she knows what she's talking about, and you don't want to miss it. It's going to be lots of fun. But if you were sticking around with me earlier this week, you know I have a big event coming up. in October, we have Mer Week. So we are celebrating the release of the box set and omnibus for the Siren Wars Saga, my mermaid series. And we are doing Mer Week, where we have professional mermaids and mermen coming on to do interviews. We are going to be doing a craft session where we're making shell crowns together live on air, and we're having a birthday book bash, and it's all surrounded by professional mermaids. It's going to be amazing. You've actually met some of them on my live broadcast before, but we're going to meet a ton of them October 2nd through the 9th. It's going to be super fun, and I would love to have you guys there. And of course, we've got more author interviews coming up. So I will see you Monday, 10 a.m. for Young Adult Edition. And frequently, we're going to be sprinkling in some more author interviews. I've got a couple that I'm setting up right now, so I'll keep you posted. Make sure you stay tuned to the page for that. Thanks so much for joining me. I am K.m. Robinson, author of The Golden Trilogy, The Jaded Duology, The Legends Chronicles, Virtually Sleeping Beauty, and a whole bunch of other fabulous books. I would love to see you guys here on social media, so make sure that you connect and let me know just how much you loved today's interview, and hit up the comments for the link to Candace's blog interview as well to learn just a little bit more about her and get a look behind the scenes at her story. Thanks so much for joining, guys. We will see you again next time. Until then, stay inspired. Bye-bye.